I am Dr. Dhanasri, working in St. Peter's Engineering College, taking classes for first year students on environmental science. Last class, in 5th unit, we have discussed about green building concept and urban sprawl. Today, we are going to study few more things in the last unit, 5th unit. First one, we will discuss life cycle assessment. Cycle assessment is a technique to assess environmental impacts associated with all the stages of a product's life, from raw material extraction through materials processing, manufacture, distribution, utilization of that one, repair and maintenance, and disposal or recycling. So, starting anything, any product, starting from its raw material till it gets disposed, after utilization, after repair, after maintenance, at every stage, what is an impact on environment? That assessment is called life cycle assessment. The goal of life cycle assessment is to compare the full range of environmental effects assignable to products and services by quantifying all inputs and outputs of material flows and assessing how these material flows affect the environment. These are the various steps in a diagram. Raw material extraction of any product, it can be. Then materials are processed here in industries, then manufactured in this. And if they are have to be assembled here in one place, they will be assembled. Then the product will be used by a consumer. He can be repaired or finally he will be using. After it stops working, it gets disposed. So each and every step in all the stages, what is the impact on environment by the product? This study is called LCA. Life cycle interpretation is a systematic technique to identify, quantify, check, and evaluate information from the results of the life cycle inventory or the life cycle impact assessment. Same thing here given, last picture in the similarly, raw materials are transported to an industry where it is getting manufactured. Then if that after manufacturing it will be packed properly, then it's sent to distributor. From distributor we can purchase, we will be using that one. If it stops working after many years, we will dispose it off. At each step it has an impact on environment. LCA thus assesses cumulative potential environmental impacts. The aim is to document and improve the overall environmental profile of the product. An life cycle assessment study involves a thorough inventory of the energy and materials that are required across the industry value chain of the product, process or service, and calculates the corresponding emissions to the environment. The goal of life cycle assessment is to compare the full range of environmental effects assignable to products and services by quantifying all inputs and outputs of material flows and assessing how these material flows affect the environment. This information is used to improve process support policy and provide a sound basis for informed decisions. So lastly, for LCA, why we have to calculate it? It is used to improve processes and to support the policy and provides a sound basis for informed for making the decisions and to know what is the impact at each stage of each step of that product. So this helps us in reducing the negative impacts. Environmental ethics. Next topic of this unit will be environmental ethics. Environmental ethics is the discipline in philosophy that studies the moral relationship of human beings to and also the value and moral status of the environment and its non-human content. Ethics itself means it's somewhat related to discipline or moral related things. In what way we are showing ethics towards the non-living contents of this ecosystem, and in what way we are showing our ethics towards the other living organisms in this world. Three basic pairs of principles are justice and sustainability, sufficiency and compassion, solidarity and participation. Environmental ethics here recognizes plant and animal rights. We are having Forest Act where the total all the living organisms in that forest area are protected. And we also have Wildlife Protection Act framed in the year 1972 to protect all the wild animals. This realizes the intrinsic worth of nature. So environmental ethics is the philosophical discipline that studies the moral relationship of human beings and also the value and moral status of the environment and its non-human contents. It considers the ethical relationship between humans and the environment. Coming to next topic, ecological footprint. Ecological footprint means the simplest way to define ecological footprint would be to call it the impact of human activities measured in terms of the area of biologically productive land and water required to produce the goods consumed and to assimilate the waste generated. Ecological footprint measures human demand on the nature. That is, the quantity of nature it takes to support people or an economy. In short, it is a measure of human impact on Earth's ecosystem and reveals the dependence of the human economy on natural capital. Here we can see how much productive land is available in where the human are dependent. It shows here bioproductive sea. In the sea area, how much sea is useful for us as aquatic species which are edible, and energy land. That means how much land is utilized for us to have our industries or to cultivate or something waste. If we are feeling how much area is utilized for us to throw the waste, and how much area is used by us to construct various buildings. All these things includes the biological footprint of a person is calculated by adding up all the people's demands that compete for biologically productive space, such as cropland to grow potatoes or cotton or any other crop, or forests to produce timber. It can be timber or any other paper industry, paper, anything, or to sequester carbon dioxide emissions. So totally all includes how much area we are utilizing productive land or a water resources or a forest area on which we are dependent on. An ecological footprint measures humans' consumption of natural resources against the Earth's ecological capacity to regenerate them. This picture also will show us fish in water bodies, how much we are dependent on water bodies for edible products of aquatic species, fisheries. A build-up area, if it is a terrestrial area, build-up area, how much grasslands are useful for us, croplands for our production of crops, various crops, and by burning the fossil fuels, how much land area where the vehicles are moving and emitting out carbon monoxide and other things, and how much forest area is available for us, and even forest resources are useful for us in various forms as raw materials in industries. According to the Global Footprint Network, we currently consume more resources per year than our planet can produce in the same time frame. So whatever we are consuming is fast compared to the planet, which is again producing the same thing back. The next topic in this unit will be low carbon lifestyle. A low carbon lifestyle reduces greenhouse gases and saves resources. It lowers our exposure to chemicals and pollution. For a healthy planet and a healthy life, we have to adopt this sustainable lifestyle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. This is a great mantra for low carbon homes. Making sure that you are always being energy efficient as possible will greatly reduce your carbon footprint. These three tips will help us be more energy efficient at home. Some methods where we can reduce our carbon dioxide emissions in our day-to-day life are: switch to CFLs. Use a table lamp while studying instead of having a total room brightness. We can reduce here power consumption. Come out and play instead of watching TV or computer and be healthy. Some at least 1 or 2 hours a day. You can off the TV and computer instead of playing in computer, not working or studying. Instead of playing in computer, we can come out and play. It gives us physical exercise and we can be healthy also, and we can reduce the consumption of energy. That means power, electricity. Turn off lights and fans when not in use. That's a very good practice what we have to follow. Buy BW 5-star rated appliances. It can be AC or anything. Install a solar water heater instead of normal one, where we are utilizing more thermal power. Prefer walking or cycling to work. If it is very nearby, we can prefer walking or cycling, which is healthy and also which helps us in reducing the carbon dioxide emissions and using more fossil fuels. Trains are generally better for the environment than planes. If possibility is there, we can instead of going with airplane, we can utilize these locomotive trains. These are the few things where we can reduce the carbon dioxide emissions and we can save our earth from global warming. Thank you. In the next class, we will discuss with sustainable future.